Hi, I'm Lisa here at Piano Video Lessons, and welcome to Lesson 9 of our note reading course. In this lesson, we're going to review all of the landmark notes that we've learned so far in the course. We're going to practice them using the NoteRush app as well as your PDF workbook. Let's get started. All right, so we're going to make sure now that you know all of these landmark notes before we go on to learn the sharps and flats, working with black keys, because now we know all of the white keys from high C all the way down to low C, and all of the notes in between, all of the white keys in between. So let's just have a look at these guide notes just to make sure that they're really concrete. We'll practice them here with the workbook and also with NoteRush. So low C and high C are both two ledger lines apart from the staff, moving out from the staff, away, higher and lower than the staff. So there's your first set of C's that are guide notes. In our last lesson, we learned high G, which touches the treble staff at the outside, and low F, which also touches the bass staff at the outside edge. They're both space notes, and we remember that our other G's other G in the treble staff is on a line. That's our treble G and high G. And then we have our bass F and low F. Low F and high G are spaces, and then bass F and treble G are lines. These ones we located by thinking about the clef. So the G clef helps us target that line number 2, the G line, and the bass clef helps us target that second line down, the F line. So the treble clef is also called the G clef, and our landmark notes are treble G and high G. One is on a line, the other one is a space above the staff. The bass clef is also called the F clef, and it helps us target two notes. One of them is on a line, the second line from the middle, and the other one is in a space just outside the staff. So again, we're thinking of those notes as pairs. So we've talked then about this note, and the only notes I haven't highlighted are the C's. We have middle C with a single ledger line between the staffs, which is different than high C with two ledgers and low C with two ledgers. And I state that a lot because students often think that they find C's out here, and we see that's not, it's A and E. So there's your middle C, and then we have these space note C's, which is treble C and bass C. So those are all of the landmark notes, and we can go ahead now and use our QR code and practice these in NoteRush. All right, so I've loaded the QR code using the camera portion of the app. You just have to go into the custom levels and then tap on the scan, and you load the level or the drill here into your app. Now I'm gonna press that big yellow play button to activate the app, and then we're gonna talk our way through this exercise. All right, so press this next yellow play button to start listening to the piano. And here we'll press middle C, and that starts it. Now this is a landmark. It's in the bass staff, and it's on the second line down, so that is our bass F. And then here, a space in the treble is gonna be your third space up, treble C. And now here's our high C with those two ledger lines. Now down here, we're thinking Fs, so this is our low F. And here we're thinking G's, this is our high G. Now another space note, down 3 spaces, that's bass C. And then we have our low C. Oh, it's listening to my voice. And then here's our treble clef G, and middle C, and another middle C. All right, so we'll do it again with less talking this time, and then we'll see how quickly we can get through it. All right, so we did that in 10.3 seconds. We got 4 stars. If we did it in under 10 seconds, we would get all 5 stars. All right, let's hop back over to the workbook and see what pages are there. All right, so here where we were talking about the lesson, we can now go through and draw all of these notes and even label them. So let me just erase some of this mess here of all of the things I've written, and we'll go ahead and draw these notes ourselves. I'm gonna start at the bottom. I'll make 2 ledger lines, and I'll put C here, and I'm gonna label it. Then I have F, and then I have space C, that's your base C, and then F. Here's middle C, I'm just gonna plop it in the middle. Here's G in the treble staff, 3 spaces up, treble C, touching the top staff, that's your high G, and then touching that one, and then another ledger line. This one is going to be your high C. All right, so there's a whole page of these. You can go ahead and label them and draw them, and then we're going to go ahead and look at the next page where we're going to name all kinds of notes based on the landmark notes. It also says to go through the whole page and circle every note that is a landmark. So why don't we do that first? So looking at the first line here, I see there's a treble G, I see a treble C, and a high C, and those are all the landmarks on line 1. The other notes we're going to read related to those notes. Now look at the second line. I see there's a bass F, I see a low F, I see a bass C, and a middle C. All right, so I'm not going to do all of these right now, but you can do them at home if you print this or use it on your iPad the way I'm doing. You can get the workbook at pianovideolessons.com/noterush. And now let's go through and name a few more of these notes. So here we have the neighbor below high G, this is F. Then we have the neighbor below, the skip below high C, which is A. And then here's our guide note G. Here's a neighbor above that G, that's A. Here's our guide note C, and then a skip above C, we have E, and a high C here, and then a skip below, which is A. All right, so go ahead and do all your work and then check your answers with the answer key at the back. And then there are 2 more pages of exercises that you can do related to all of the guide notes that we've just worked on. This should be a solid review for all of the white keys from low C to high C. And in the next lesson, in part 2 of this course, we're going to be looking at the sharps and the flats. Now that you know all of the white keys, this won't be too difficult, but it's important that you know all of your white keys really well before you start incorporating all of the sharps and flats. We'll see you in the next lesson.